Everyone, today I'm going to talk to you about your online course and why it's not converting and what you can do about it. I'm going to go over 7 specific reasons why that might be the case. Now, most of the time, the reason your course isn't converting is because the message is off. You think it's good, but the people that are reading it either don't get it or don't understand it. And if they don't understand it, you're not going to get the sale. So the number one reason is your course promise is too vague. You talk about what's included in the course, how many modules it has, and people really aren't interested in the mechanics of your course. What they're interested in is what are the results they're going to get. If your customer can't very quickly understand the outcome they're going to get, they're just not going to buy. So instead of something like, hey, 10 modules to create a new online course, you have to say something more like launch your first online course in 30 days, even if you're starting from scratch. So they get attracted by the results they're going to get and not here's step 1, here's step 2, here's step 3. So number 1 is, the course promise is too vague. Number 2, your course structure doesn't really support the outcome that you're promoting. So when people look at the outline for your course, they see a lot of lessons, but they don't really follow how, lesson 1, the title, flows into the next one. And it just doesn't seem like it's logically flowing through. So you really want to structure your lessons so that they follow milestones. I'm going to accomplish this, then I'm going to accomplish this, and there's a flow that makes sense to someone who's trying to get results. So each module should represent a step towards the final outcome. Number 3, your pricing doesn't match the perceived value. Now, I'll tell you something. Whenever people launch an online course, a big problem is that they don't charge enough. You're a new entrepreneur in this space and you're a little bit uncomfortable charging too much, so you undercharge. That's going to hurt your bottom line. Another issue is that it's way too high and people are saying, gosh, I can't afford that. So you've gotta strike a balance. You want it to be something that people can afford, but you want it to be such that, hey, if it's only $99, well, gosh, how much can you really get out of a $99 investment? But if you price it at $497 or $697, it's kind of like, okay, this isn't too expensive. But it's not so cheap that people are wondering, gosh, are they just trying to get, a cheap sale out of me and not getting results? So your price has to match what the results are saying they are. And if the results are something that people want very badly, then that does justify a higher price, which is, it's good for you. Number 4, the student experience feels overwhelming. Now, one thing that happens if people are in your course and they're confused, they'll lift up their hand, send you an email, they'll ask a question. But when they're overwhelmed, they're pretty much going, hold on a second, maybe I'm the problem. And those people don't ask questions. They just kind of fade out and you never hear from them again. So if you have too many lessons up front, if there's no clear place to start, you need to simplify the experience. You need to tell them where they're going to start, what they're going to do next. And this should be something that feels very comfortable to them, so that, again, they're not going, oh my gosh, I don't know that I'm in the right program, in which case nobody wins. Okay, you're selling content instead of a system. If your online course is a system that delivers results as opposed to, let me sell you a bunch of videos, or let me sell you a course that's X long, people who are buying a course, they don't want to spend a lot of time taking this course. They want to learn quickly, efficiently, so that they can get the results they want. So it's really important that your content feel like it's a system that's getting them somewhere. I'm here in my knowledge. I want to get here in my knowledge. And your program is seen as a way to cross that gap. So instead of listing what's included, explain the journey people are going to be going through, the milestones they reach. And that just works a lot better so that people aren't not only overwhelmed, but they see it as something that gets them through this. Okay. Number 6 is your course doesn't build momentum. It feels like you're bogged down in a lot of details as you're taking the course. So it's very important, especially at the very beginning, for people to see, oh, wow, man, I just went through the first 2 lessons. I feel like I'm learning something. I feel like I'm accomplishing something. I feel like I'm making progress towards this goal. So it's very important, especially towards the beginning, that that's the case. So they need to feel like they're taking action, they need to see results, and more importantly, they need to feel like they're making progress. This is really important. And then, the number 7 is your course has to be positioned as part of a bigger journey. I think a lot of times people will come up, create a course, and it's kind of like, hey, this is the course that's going to solve world peace. And what they don't realize is that people know that it's going to take steps. And if your first course is shorter, maybe it's not the whole thing, it's like part 1 in your mind of what people need to do to learn what they need to learn, then it's like, wow, I just finished course number 1. I feel like I've made a lot of progress. And then, of course, the course ought to be pointing at the next step. Hey, once you've completed this, you're probably going to want to do this. Now you've got someone that is very satisfied with the progress they've made on the first one. And now it's kind of like, well, I got to buy the next one. Or if you're in a subscription, and you're charging them monthly, then it's kind of like, here's part 1, and then that follows part 2, part 3. And, they're making progress. But don't try to stuff too much into one course. And make sure that especially the first and the second thing that people do feel like they've made a lot of progress, at least perceived progress. So as a final thought, hey, it has a lot to do, selling a course has a lot to do with having a clear outcome, logical structure, and a very clean, logical user experience. Make sure you include that in your course, and that is going to improve your conversions.